Yeah. They can't catch up cause they lacking the stamina. Way too advanced to be playing with amateurs. Stay on attack when attacking like damager. They react and play it back on the camera. Hot boy, just consider me flammable. Sure shot, I got all the intangibles. Need a leash, I'm a beast, I'm an animal. Eat the competition up like a Hannibal. Know the game like I wrote up the manual. I do weekly what you do on the annual. MVP, that decision unanimous. Big dogs, I don't think they can handle it. Battlefield, it's just me and my warriors. Guaranteed we emerging victorious. Years, blood, sweat, tears, it's glorious. I remember when they always ignoring us. Dash, got it on, smash.
All right, Coach, we welcome everybody to the Garden State. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34.
At their own 34-yard line.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 9, Jones. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they're marching off another 15 against your squad.
Now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. After the penalty, they go with Barkley. Give them 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
And the last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Here we go, dude. Here I come.
Throwing, Jones. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. They had 3 yards on 1st down, just 1 yard there.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. On 4th down, Jones. And my goodness, this is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And this defense delivers a turnover on downs on the very first drive of the afternoon. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10.
Check. Come on now. Let's go.
First carry now for Jordan Howard. A gain of 3, second down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
We got three, fellas, we got 3. Jim. Let's go, great. Kill. Rip. Check 1, 3.
Running from the gun with Howard. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
Go. 180. What? 357.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And it's picked up by the Eagles.
I don't know why, but it's always agonizing to me to see a guy make a mistake in this phase of the game because you can. It's all on him. All eyes there. He's got a chance to make a punt return, and instead he ends up putting it on the carpet.
Puts it on the carpet. The little rubber pellets shoot up. Never a good sign for a returner on this field turf surface.
No, not at all. A bunch of them go up when they're all trying to get to the football, don't they?
And just a couple yards there down to the 17. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Single, slot. Hey, you're on an island over there. You're on 5-9.
Wentz. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Well, good field position to start the drive, but under the gun now here on 3rd and 8. From the gun, it's Wentz. Aguilar has it. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry? Ball gets tipped in the air. Because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line. Looking at this now, you got a couple more cracks here this close. Sneak it?
I don't think you even go into a huddle. Just line up, snap it, and fall in behind those guys into the end zone.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Trying to punch it in with Howard. And he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. Jordan Howard with touchdown number 7 on the year. As his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. A good hold of these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. This one taken from the 7. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Meanwhile, checking in on what's going on in Baltimore. And it's the Ravens that have moved out to an early advantage. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. Jones and the Giants now with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Fletcher Cox has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Brought down by Nate Gary.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
18 yards on his first catch of the game. It's a 1st down.
Here we go. 70, Indy.
1st and 10 at the 42-yard
Go.
line.
Let's get off the field.
On 1st and 10, Jones. Out to the left there and complete to Howard. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up 1st downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Set up. 18 Gator. 54 Mike. Hey, Charlie. Go.
Here's Jones on 3rd and 2. It's caught. Shepard. And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 29-yard line.
That's good for the Giants. 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready to roll for the second quarter from MetLife Stadium. The Giants with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10.
Set. 18 Gator. Time to go. Night. Mike's 54.
Jones on 1st down. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Golden Tate, his intended receiver. And it's 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here and 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to it.
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Jalen Mills. A big seam, and he might go all the way. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line. I tell you what, credit is due there on them preventing the touchdown after that interception.
How about him chasing him down and not giving up the pick 6? Because what happens a lot of the time is when you see the interception, you just kind of hang your head a little bit and you momentarily pause because you're frustrated. He shook that off and gave great chase and got it done.
Still a great return and very good field position.
And there's the first tackle of the game for Carl Joseph. He's one of those safeties that you can utilize in any way you want. But I will have to say, I think the number one thing he does best.
And he's in for an Eagles touchdown. Jordan Howard with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. And it'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Now Jones. And Tate's got it. Well, they were in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Now Saquon Barkley. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are. Figure out the things that they really want to accomplish and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 27-yard line. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the second quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Here's 2nd and 8. Throw right side caught by O.J. Howard. 15 yards on the play, first down.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Nate Gehring. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
They'll begin the drive with Howard. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. A loss of 2 there. 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and about 7 left.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
46 down, Marathon forward. 24's the mic. Hey, wahoo!
From the gun on 3rd down, Wentz. Flushed out right. He may try and run for this. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Wentz can pull it down when he needs to, and the 6'5" quarterback picks up the first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Out of the gun, this is Howard. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
They just keep trying, but so far, finding no room for him to run.
None whatsoever. In fact, you run the numbers. He's under 3 yards a carry at the moment.
81.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Being chased out left. Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Giants have it. It's picked up, and they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. And maybe that one caused by the weather. Of course, the rain coming down. Charles, can you maybe, when you're carrying that football, grip it too tight in the rain?
I think that you can, and it's such a delicate balance, too, because when you grip it so tight, sometimes it'll slip out from your body. You squeeze it too hard, and it'll pop out on its own. I've actually had running backs talk to me about that. And when they've tried too hard, even in perfect conditions, the ball gets away from them. They've got to find that good balance, carrying it firmly, yet at the same time under control.
Throwing again on second down. Jones. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up third. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
The Giants on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. Looking to throw. Jones. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively. Brings up 4th down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. With it is Jackson. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, the intended receiver.
So first thing that crosses my mind is why didn't they just sit on the lead and take it to the locker room? They're in good shape.
Absolutely. And from this spot on the field, now you've given the other side a chance for points here going into intermission.
Yeah, you changed the momentum of the game, and it's something you did not need to do.
Now Jones on 1st and 10. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Yeah, let's get sack lunch.
Right there, 54, right there, 54.
Yep.
Go.
Smooth.
Mike 5-4,
Ready, ready.
Jones now throwing again. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they had incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. And no move to get the offense off the field. Despite failing once, they're going to go again here on 4th down.
All day, dog.
4-7's the mic, 4-7's the mic. Yeah. You don't want none.
Switch it. Snap.
On 4th down, Jones going to throw deep for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Mills.
Go.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
Here's a run on first down that won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He will lose a yard, 2nd and 11. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach! Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
57.
He's checking. Crash.
They go with Howard again. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Working from the gun, Wentz. He's going to air one out. That's caught inside the 20. Wentz able to hook up with Aguilar for a big gain, 55 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
And this carry terminated at the 8-yard line. Good stick skill showing the power, but just not much room to operate.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. It's a 2nd down run with Sanders. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Only a yard on the pickup, so a good situation on 2nd and 2. It's now 3rd and 1.
Here we go. Back man. Ready?
Check 31.
Hey, ram.
Another run with Sanders. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Miles Sanders, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Eagles able to push further out in front.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
It's a room to maneuver. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. The 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Saquon Barkley. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Giants are able to cut into this lead. Well, if they're going to make a game of this in the second half, they need a few big plays to go their way. That's one.
And the way to get it done is to also conserve time. So to your point, that big play right there, now you're not moving the ball downfield, taking time off the clock. You're leaving yourself a better avenue to continue to try and make a comeback.
This one fielded at the 5. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Let's go. The Eagles take over 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there. 3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Again, it's Howard. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. A good run by Jordan Howard, and now another 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
2nd and 12 at the 38-yard line.
Pac-Man. 120. This 5-7. Hey, Delta.
24 is the mic. Big stop, D. Big stop. Let's go.
Now they'll throw it. Wentz. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Off the edge, the sack by Reggie Ragland. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. Shotgun now for Wentz. And he's going to go down again. Give the sack to Lorenzo Carter.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
At their own 11-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard.
Record. Check nickel.
They'll go to Barkley again, and they'll get him down here at the 23. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down. A 1st down carry for Barkley. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 1st down for the Giants as they pick up 12. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Jones. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Fletcher Cox racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
Brings up 2nd down.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. It's the Giants with possession of the football but needing points as we start quarter number 4. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Looking to throw. Jones, incomplete. It was Jalen Mills getting a hand in there defensively. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter and find their way open.
Faster.
On 3rd down, Barkley. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Back to throw. Jones. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Rodney McLeod. On 4th down, that turned out like a punt. Maybe he was better defensively there just to knock it down.
And you know they go over those situations. All right, 4th down, where's the ball? Where would we get the ball? But instinct takes over, and when it's in the air, they just go and get it. So it's hard to get on him for intercepting it, but the smart play would have been what you suggested. Knock it down and take over in a deeper position.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. They'll keep it on the ground. Howard takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Down the man inside. Down the man.
From midfield, here's Wentz. He's going to look deep down the field. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. On 1st down, Barkley. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
You know, it's become cliche, but we have seen it and observed it. When runners have days like what we're seeing right now, they often take their offensive linemen out for steaks afterwards, don't they? They don't go buy them dinner. But after a play like that, they might reduce it, might go to the corner and just grab a hot dog or two, huh?
Hey, I mean, they've still been blocking for him well in this game. They don't get one mulligan up front.
Okay, so what we're saying then is we're going petite filet instead of porterhouse.
8 ounce. 8 ounce is good.
All right, just checking.
Looking to throw. Jones. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time.
Five.
Here's Jones. Throwing on 4th down. That's to his running back, complete. But they're going to wrap him up as he'll go down well short of a first. The Giants go on 4th but come up empty. And the Eagles are going to take over in great field position. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Howard. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 17 yards and a 1st down for Philly. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the Giants' 17-yard line.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
You got 4. You got 4.
Go.
Running with Howard. And he'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 14-yard line.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack. Ryan Kerrigan in there for the sack, and it's an important one from a personal standpoint as that is sack number 100 and what has certainly been a terrific career to this point. On now is Vinatieri as he'll try the field goal. This to make it a 3-score game late. And Vinatieri's kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They'll start out on the ground, and Saquon Barkley. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down. Jones throwing on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
They can't stop us, baby. Every time it's a set. Come on, fellas.
So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On second down, here's Barkley. Now Barkley stripped of the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. And this is going to come up well short as they stop him on 4th down. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Eagles are going to take over in great field position.
Don't go.
Strip that ball. '24's the mark.
Wentz to throw. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. Second down. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead. But I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
15 yards on the play, first down. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. They'll run with Sanders. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Miles Sanders with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. Vinatieri able to tack on the PAT. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
At their own 28-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
The Giants going to burn their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 27 seconds showing on the clock. The Giants on third down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This is 3rd and 7. They'll try to right side here. Barkley. And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the first down. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down. This is Barkley. And he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Eagles are going to take over in great field position. Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more. Little insult to injury here late in the game. On the left hash, officially, it's called a 51-yard attempt. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short. No good, and this